What is suspicious to own but not illegal? I got pulled over late at night, and when the cop shined his light into the cargo area of my station wagon, the most visible objects were a shovel, rope, gloves, and the giant tarp-wrapped bundle of yards, refuse I was bringing to the town compost in the morning. Surely there was at least one roll of duct tape or gorilla tape back there. At least he had a sense of humor about it when he strolled up to my window. So we're off to bury the body under the cover at night, huh? Officer, I think we both agree it isn't daylight work. A collection of other people's hair. A candlestick, dagger, revolver, lead pipe, wrench, and rope. I think I have a clue of what's going on here. You need at least 16 pigs to finish the job in one sitting, so be wary of any man who keeps a pig farm. Multiple padlocks on your basement door. My friends and I moved to a new city and were trying to find a place to live. One of the houses we looked at had a door in the basement that was padlocked with multiple locks, but was also nailed shut. And I don't mean a couple nails. I mean like nails around every inch of the door frame. Needless to say, we did not rent that house, LOL. Lockpicks. They're seen as thieves' tools, but lockpicking isn't uncommon for a hobby. Have a friend who picked up the lockpick after one of his renters lost their keys, and he couldn't find the backup set. Had to call a locksmith. And since they live over 15 miles out of town, it was a hell of a fee. Plus, it's not a bad idea to have a kit for getting into cars, sitting around with some cars auto-locking doors. They aren't supposed to do it when the key is in the car, but apparently, if you let a 2012 Chevy Avalanche sit for a week, it will still lock itself. With the only set of keys in the car, the same friend found that one out the hard way. Again, locksmith is expensive that far out of town. I was at Home Depot with a shopping cart full of PVC stuff, and this cop standing in line behind me says, "Building a potato cannon, huh?" I actually was building a potato cannon. I had a similar thing happen. Went to Bunnings as a teenager and asked for a BBQ igniter. The guy working there goes, "I assume you're going to need some PVC pipe as well." He then proceeded to rip off the igniter off one of the demo BBQs and said, "Stick that in your pocket," and then took me to the aisle and proceeded to equip me with all the PVC pipe parts. Too many of any one innocuous item. You've got 10 citrus squeezers or 25 dusters? I'm going to be side-eyeing you. A closet grow tent for tomatoes. Human skull. I've got one. I'm keeping in it some stuff I don't use very often, like my brain. I lost the key to my crawl space's padlock once and went to the hardware store to buy bolt cutters so I could replace it. I told the cashier why I was buying them without being asked, and he was like, "It's funny. Everyone that buys bolt cutters feels like they need to tell me why they're buying them. I think they just want me to know they aren't about to do something illegal." For me, water. My neighbors had well water and would dry up. They asked if they could run a hose and put it in there. Well, they would pay what was owed. Did this a lot last summer, no big deal, they paid. Then they bought a big above-ground pool, filled it for them. They always paid. My part was always around the same, so I wasn't bent out of shape. One day, the water meter guy knocked, with an officer wanting to know why I was using so much water. I showed the many hoses to reach my neighbors, and they were there to help explain. They explained to me that much water usage was throwing a red flag, so they were sent out to investigate to make sure no marijuana growing was happening. PT Cruiser, 3 phones. I have 4 phones and 2 tablets. What am I? A drug dealer with a corporate job. A very large and thorough collection of Nazi memorabilia. Not in most countries, anyway. Having a crowbar, large bolt cutters, and pantyhose in the same general area. A ritual dagger, as he described it. My one college roommate had one displayed and would occasionally need the room to himself. I opted for a place where I had my own room next year. Duct tape, cable ties, chloroform, and condoms. A suspiciously large homework folder on your computer. Granted, in some cases that could be illegal, I suppose. An old beat-up van with free candy painted on the side. Loads of money in cash. More than a few bottles of Robitussin or Sudafed. A very sensitive scale. Psilocybin mushroom spore kits. Legal to buy, illegal to cultivate and distribute the mature product. I got stopped and questioned at airport security because of my jewelry scales and grinder, until I showed them my coffee beans and AeroPress. A flip comb which looks like a switchblade. Remember those? I mean, I don't need a 5-foot dildo mounted to a sword hilt, but I have one. It's purple. It's not illegal to go to Walmart and buy trash bags, a saw, and cleaning supplies at 2 a.m., but I've seen enough true crime stuff to say it is mighty suspicious.